Before the stars adorned the skies, and before man walked the earth, there was Amadioha, the god of thunder, lightning, and divine justice. His rage split mountains, his compassion brought rains to the barren lands. But even gods are not free from fear. Long ago, Amadioha foresaw his power growing beyond control. To protect the balance of the world, he fractured his essence into 6 sacred masks. Each mask held a fragment of his divine might: truth, resilience, valor, mercy, wisdom, and power. The masks were scattered across the land, hidden in places where only the worthy could find them. For centuries, they remained undisturbed. But now, dark forces rise and the masks call out to a chosen one. That chosen one is Udoka, a warrior who has forsaken battle, plagued by guilt, haunted by loss, and reluctant to embrace his destiny. Udoka must embark on a journey to reclaim the masks before the shadow consumes the land. This is the tale of his struggle, his triumph, and the burden of wielding a God's power. This is the story of the 6 masks of Amadioha. Udoka knelt in the ashes of a once thriving village, his hands trembling as visions of lightning scorched his mind. He had been cursed since birth, marked by the god of thunder with an undefeatable strength and might. "You were chosen," the elders always said, but Udoka felt cursed now. His wife was gone, and his clan had turned from him, whispering of omens and doom. As the rains poured, a strange visitor arrived, an old woman cloaked in black, her eyes alight with unnatural wisdom. "The masks have awakened," she said, her voice cutting through the storm. "Amadioha calls to you." Udoka's heart burned with reluctance.
"I am no hero. Let the gods find another."
The old woman smiled knowingly. "The world you once knew has gone to ruin. You have lost your family. You are nothing now. But even your sorrow is only the beginning of a greater calamity to come. You have no choice, child. You must act now. The storm is coming." With those words, she left him to make his choice and vanished into the rain. Even in his despair, he knew this was a mission he could not turn away from. Perhaps this was his only way to seek salvation from his past. The gods may yet find him worthy of another chance. With his heart filled with courage and hope, his journey began. The first mask lay hidden in the Temple of Truth, an ancient sanctuary nestled in a jungle thick with vines and crawling with spirits. The temple's entrance shimmered with an otherworldly glow, its stone carvings depicting Amadioha's might. As Udoka stepped inside, the air grew heavy. The temple spoke, not with words, but with visions. It showed him the face of his wife, her eyes filled with accusation. "You abandoned me," the vision whispered. Udoka's heart ached, but he pressed on, knowing that the masks were his only chance to right his wrongs. At the temple's heart, the mask of truth rested on a pedestal, but as he reached for it, the spirits of the temple descended, testing his resolve. With each step, they whispered his failures, his doubts, and his fears, but Udoka stood firm, and as he placed the mask on his face, the whispers turned to silence. The first mask was his. Udoka's journey led him through trials that tested his body and spirit. The mask of resilience lay in a canyon where lightning never ceased to strike. Here, Udoka faced the wrath of the skies, dodging bolts of lightning as the ground trembled beneath him. When he finally grasped the mask, its power coursed through him like a river of fire. But he was not alone. In the canyon, Udoka encountered Eze, a lone warrior who bore the scars of 1,000 battles. Eze claimed he too was marked by the gods and sought to restore balance to the land. At first, Udoka was wary, but Eze's knowledge of the masks and his wisdom in battle proved invaluable. Together, they braved the mask of mercy in a sacred grove and sought the mask of valor in the Valley of Echoes. Along the way, a bond began to form, not of friendship, but of mutual respect. Yet, Udoka couldn't ignore the unease that settled in his heart. Eze spoke of the masks with an almost obsessive fervor, his words laced with envy and ambition. At the sight of the fifth mask, the mask of fury, the truth was revealed. Eze confessed that Udoka had been his tool all along, and he wanted to become a god through the power of the masks. He drew his blade at Udoka's throat. Udoka's chest tightened, not because he hadn't seen this coming, but because part of him had wanted to believe in Eze, their battles together, their shared laughter in fleeting moments of calm. It had all been a lie. The fight was brutal, each man driven by desperation. Udoka ultimately emerged victorious, forcing Eze to retreat into the shadows. But the betrayal lingered, cutting deeper than any wound. Udoka was once a man of honor, a warrior whose name was sung in praise across the lands. He had fought for his people, stood against the storm of invaders, and built a home where his family could thrive. But power, even when wielded with good intentions, is a fragile thing. Udoka's strength became his pride, and his pride turned him blind to the suffering of others. He ignored the omens, the well that dried overnight, the crops that withered without cause, and the elders who begged him to seek the gods' guidance. When the wrath of Amadioha descended upon the village, it came as an endless storm that tore roofs from homes and drowned the fields. The people scattered, fleeing in all directions. Udoka's wife, Adeze, begged him to live with her and their young son, but Udoka refused.
A true warrior does not abandon his home.
The storm only grew fiercer. In the chaos, Adeze took their son and fled, leaving Udoka behind. When the skies finally cleared, the village was a wasteland of broken homes and shattered lives. The few who remained blamed Udoka for the destruction, believing his defiance had angered the gods. Consumed by guilt and shame, Udoka became a wanderer. He sought answers, redemption, and the way to rebuild what he had lost. It was in this state that the messenger spirit found him, whispering of the 6 masks of Amadioha. Restore the balance, the spirit commanded, and your life may yet find meaning again. And so, Udoka began his quest, a man haunted by his past, but driven by the hope of a better future. With 5 masks acquired, Udoka climbed the mountain of storms, where the final mask awaited, the mask of power. The air at the mountain of storms was alive, crackling with energy. The winds howled in unrelenting fury, pulling at Udoka's tattered cloak. Thunder rumbled from every direction as though the mountain itself had a heartbeat. He climbed higher, each step heavy with the weight of his journey. A towering shrine stood before him, surrounded by gigantic statues of the gods. A voice rumbled through the air, echoing like distant thunder. It was the voice of Amadioha.
So you dare stand before me, Udoka of Aurora Kingdom, the man who fight the gods, who ignored the cries of his people as the storm consumed them. Do you not remember the day you doomed your village? The omens were clear, the elders pleaded, and yet you stood still, proud, unyielding. And so my storm came, not to destroy your people, but to humble you.
I remember, I carry the weight of my actions every moment of my life. I seek not only redemption, but to right the wrongs I caused. Tell me what I must do, Amadioha.
There is a long silence. The winds ease slightly, and the thunder softens to a distant rumble.
You have suffered that much truth. But now face another truth. The mask you seek come with the border. My power and not men was to be. Are you prepared to see the cost of your ambition, Udoka?
Udoka knelt, his voice steady.
I am ready. I must restore balance and justice to my people. I cannot fail them twice.
The storm erupts again, lightning striking, and Udoka was teleported to a celestial realm where the mask of storms resided. Before him stood Amadioha himself.
Power is not a gift, it is a burden. If wielded correctly, your world will enjoy a lifetime of prosperity, but you will bear the sacrifice. Unable to love, and unable to unite your family, you will become one mask, the eternal servant. And if you fail in your duty, you will cause great suffering and disaster to your people. Are you prepared to wield my power, knowing no cost?
With hope in his heart, Udoka placed the last mask on his face. The storm subsided and Amadioha's power flowed into him. Udoka stood alone, the 6 marks of Amadioha now fully absorbed into him. Upon his return, peace was restored to all the lands and his people hailed him as a savior. But Udoka knew the truth. Power was not a gift, it was a responsibility. As the bearer of Amadioha's essence, he vowed to protect the balance between gods and men, knowing that his journey had only just begun. And so, the legend of Udoka, the mask bearer, was born, a tale carried by the winds and whispered by the rain.